Have you ever wondered why you eat healthily every day? Eat 3 light meals. Stay away from frying, and even eat some nuts to replenish nutrients, but your body has not improved at all. You may find that your weight has not dropped much. Your blood sugar is still high. Your blood pressure has soared from time to time. And even recently, you are particularly tired, and your memory is getting worse and worse. Nuts and oatmeal in the morning and grabbed a few peanuts or honey walnuts as a snack in the afternoon, thinking it's healthier than dessert. As a result, she had a physical examination last year, and her cholesterol rose instead of falling, and her stomach was often uncomfortable, and she never understood why. Until one time, after seeing the doctor, she asked me very depressed, "Can't you even eat nuts?" Actually, the real problem is not that you can't eat nuts, but that you eat the wrong nuts in the wrong way. Many people think that as long as it is nuts, it is healthy, but in fact, the misunderstanding in this is far more serious than you think. Nuts are indeed a treasure, rich in high-quality fat, protein, dietary fiber, and excellent nutrients for cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. That's right, this has been proven time and time again in science. But you know what? It is precisely because nuts are labeled as healthy food that many people have problems eating them. Nowadays, there are a variety of healthy nut snacks in supermarkets, which seem to be high-end, organic, low in sugar and low in sodium. But in fact, many of them are added with sugar, salt, artificial flavors, hydrogenated oils, and even hidden molds and allergens. Not to mention that many people don't have control over the amount at all. A grab is a handful, and hundreds of calories are stuck in the stomach a day, but they are unconscious. Are you the same? As soon as the TV is turned on and the movie is broadcast, you unknowingly swallow a whole bag of peanuts or chocolate almonds. You think you're eating health food, but you're actually stuffing chronic poison into your body. Doesn't that sound like an exaggeration? But what you're going to see next may make you recognize the word nut. What I'm going to talk to you about today is not a simple question of whether nuts are healthy or not, but whether the nuts you eat in your mouth every day help you delay aging or accelerate the degeneration of your body ***. We will dismantle in one go *** 4 nut traps that you think are very healthy, but are actually comparable to chronic poisons ***, which may be causing your blood pressure to soar, blood sugar to run out of control, gastrointestinal discomfort, and poor memory. Then I will tell you *** 4 kinds of golden nuts that are really getting younger and younger. And even doctors secretly eat them ***, which can not only stabilize blood lipids, protect the heart, prevent brain degeneration, and even help you fight inflammation, open blood vessels, and improve qi. The last of these was even called the most worthwhile handful of natural brain supplements to eat every day by a PhD in nutrition at Harvard. This is not a gimmick. It is a scientifically verified data endorsement, and it is a health awakening that countless middle-aged and elderly people have exchanged for their personal experience. If there are people around you who insist on eating nuts every day, but the more they eat, the more tired they become, please be sure to read this content. If you already feel that your body is not as good as before, but you don't know what the problem is, then you should listen carefully. Because we don't want you to give up nuts, but we want you to see clearly what you should eat, what you must quit, how much to eat, and when to eat the best effect, all of which will affect your health for the next 10 or 20 years. We'll also use a few real-life examples to help you understand how big of a difference this is. Like Mr. Thomas, a retired police officer from Texas who was diagnosed with 3 highs at the age of 60, originally thought that replacing potato chips with honey nuts would lead to a healthy transformation. But after 6 months, his belly was bigger and his blood sugar was more difficult to control. It wasn't until he started eating plain walnuts, pistachios, and almonds, and slowly mastered the portions and pairing skills that he really regained his energy and sense of ease. You can also be like him, not blindly eating more, but eating wisely and rightly. We don't talk about metaphysics, we don't sell products, and we don't want you to suddenly become extremely light. We are talking about what you are already eating, and will continue to eat every day. You don't need to change your life. You just need to re-see the handful of healthy nuts that you thought were safe. In particular, the first nut we are going to reveal next, which is found in almost every supermarket, is often disguised as a healthy snack for afternoon tea. but it is actually the culprit that causes gastrointestinal burden, blood sugar rise, and blood lipid disorder. The kind of food that ranks first on the golden nut list not only helped Emily, a retired American woman, improve her memory, but was also recommended by her doctor as the friendliest source of fat to fight brain aging. So next, let's take a good look with me to see which 4 kinds of nuts should be kicked out of the kitchen immediately, and which 4 kinds should be eaten a little every day, which can help you eat and eat to become younger. This is not an exaggeration, but the key to health that you hold in your hand every day, and every bite you eat can really determine whether you walk steadily, remember clearly, and live lightly. You ready? Let's get started now. You may still be wondering, aren't nuts always said to be the healthiest snack? Do I have to be scared to even eat a nut? Yes, nuts are indeed the best of healthy foods, but only if you eat them in the right variety, in the right way, and in the right amount. The problem now is that many people are completely misguided, thinking that as long as it is nuts, it is better than potato chips, so they start to eat a lot of them, not knowing that some nuts are simply chronic poisons in the guise of health. Like the mister I just mentioned, Thomas, his favorite before was the large cans of honey-roasted walnuts and chocolate-coated almonds in Costco, which felt sweet and satisfying when eating, and felt much stronger than eating desserts, and it could also nourish the brain and cardiovascular system. But you know what? These processed nuts with icing, honey, chocolate, and even salt and spices are essentially the same as donuts and energy bars. A handful can contain 20 to 30 grams of sugar, and many people eat several handfuls at a time. You think you are maintaining your health, but you are actually consuming high sugar, high calorie, and high saturated fat, and of course blood sugar and blood lipids will follow. Emily also made a similar mistake. She used to like to eat peanuts at night while watching TV, thinking that peanuts are natural and protein supplementing, and then she always felt flatulence, slower bowel movements, and often dry mouth, only to find that her allergy index was high. It turned out that she had been eating peanuts fried with salt in the supermarket for a long time. Not only the sodium content was off the charts, but also may contain aflatoxin, an invisible toxin. This mold is a very common carcinogen in some peanuts, corn, and other improperly stored nuts. Then there is a nut that is often mistrusted by health people, and that is Brazil nuts. It's certainly rich in selenium, a very important antioxidant mineral, but herein lies the question, to what extent is it rich? Do you know? Eating just 2 Brazil nuts is almost the upper limit of the recommended daily selenium intake. Many people eat a handful, and in the long run, not only does it not fight aging, but selenium poisoning may occur. Symptoms include hair loss, brittle nails, fatigue, digestive disturbances, and in some cases, bad breath or abnormal mental status. And you probably don't associate this with nuts at all. Many American families will have a bunch of nut mixes during the holiday season, and Brazil nuts are among them, mixed with walnuts, cashews, and almonds, and it is easy to unconsciously overeat them as snacks. Imagine this toxin that you probably eat every day without realizing it in your mouth. Not to mention those seasoned roasted nuts, salted almonds, spicy cashew nuts, barbecue-flavored walnuts, and caramel-flavored pumpkin seeds may seem like just a change of taste, but in fact, once heated and baked to high temperatures, the original good fats of these nuts, monounsaturated fatty acids and omega-3 fatty acids, will be oxidized and destroyed, not to mention the nutritional value is greatly reduced, and it is easy to produce free radicals and oxidants, which increases the risk of chronic inflammation in the body. At that time, Emily was eating low-sugar roasted mixed nuts every day, but after half a year, the liver function test was a little abnormal, and the whole person became more and more tired. She later switched to plain walnuts and almonds, and adjusted the breakfast structure with leafy greens and hard-boiled eggs, and slowly recovered. In fact, it is not difficult for you to understand that natural nuts are a good thing, but after being industrially processed, over-seasoned, and violently roasted, it has changed its taste, and even changed its nature. But the good news is that we don't need to give up nuts. As long as we choose the right ones, we can turn them into the most practical anti-aging health food in our daily life. Do you want to make your memory a little better? Eat some walnuts. The omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants in walnuts are one of the most researched and proven sources of natural fats for brain function. A study from the Harvard School of Public Health even pointed out that people who insisted on eating about 30 grams of walnuts a day had a much higher test performance in execution, memory, and language fluency than those who did not eat it. Even better, it also improves cholesterol and prevents hardening of the arteries. Emily's mother is now in her 80s because of her habit of eating walnuts, and she has a clear brain and speaks sharply, and even doctors say that she looks like a 65-year-old. For those who want to control their blood sugar and weight, almonds must not be missed. It's rich in vitamin E, calcium, and plant-based proteins, which help delay sugar absorption and increase satiety. You can add a handful of sliced almonds to your breakfast oats, or you can eat a small handful of plain flavors in the afternoon when you're hungry. It has a positive effect on insulin control, improving bone density, and balancing female hormones. And pistachios are also unexpected, invisible heroes. It contains potassium, lutein, and antioxidant phenols that help lower blood pressure, protect the retina, and fight chronic inflammation. Even better, pistachios are one of the few nuts with a relatively high ratio of protein to dietary fiber, and there are also studies to support it in controlling appetite and improving mood. If you're hungry at night and don't want to eat a late-night snack, a few pistachios can help you stabilize your blood sugar and improve your sleep quality. There's another one you may not have paid much attention to, and that's flaxseed. Although it is not a nut in the traditional sense, it does not lose any nutrients, and it is one of the few seeds in the plant kingdom that is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially suitable for vegetarians or those who do not eat fish regularly. The lignans and soluble fiber in flaxseed are great for gut health, hormonal balance, and reducing inflammation. All you need to do is break it up, add a spoonful to yogurt or oatmeal, and eat it for 2 or 3 weeks, and the changes will quietly appear. A friend of mine, Sarah, who added a spoonful of flaxseed powder to her yogurt every morning, almost completely relieved her constipation after 2 months, and she looked several years younger. So, the nuts that should really be eaten have always been there. It's just whether you pick the right ones and eat them right. Not all nuts are good for you, but with the right few golden ingredients, at the right time, in the right amount, and at the right time, they can be the easiest and most effective anti-aging companion in your daily life. Wait a minute. I will also help you summarize the 4 principles of eating nuts smartly to ensure that you eat with peace of mind, eat effectively, do not step on thunder, do not overdose, so that you can eat healthy and energetic every day. Because health does not depend on eating less, but by eating right. Now that you know which nuts should be given up and which nuts are worth eating every day, let's take a look at how to eat and how much to eat, so as to really give full play to the healthcare power of nuts, instead of eating problems unknowingly. You ready? Let's move on. Therefore, whether nuts are healthy food or chronic poison is really not in itself, but in how you choose and eat. You can eat nuts every day, or you can eat the wrong nuts every day. The difference is not in the length of time, but in the right direction. Just like the honey walnuts, caramelized almonds, roasted and flavored peanuts, mixed processed nut packets we just talked about, they look beautifully packaged, have a variety of flavors, and are even printed with the words trans fat-free, non-GMO, and high fiber. But when you eat sugar, sodium, oxidized fats, and various additives, these nuts have changed from a healthy choice to a burden on the body. And when you slowly replace them with plain walnuts, almonds, pistachios, flax seeds, which are really natural, unprocessed, and retain nutrient density, you will find that the body's feedback is actually very honest. Many people think that eating nuts has a little effect for several months, but in fact, as long as you eat it right and adjust your diet, you can clearly feel it in about a month. The whole person is a little more relaxed, less flatulent after meals, sleeping more peacefully at night. The stomach becomes flat, and even the skin condition is more delicate. Like Emily, who started replacing processed nuts with flaxseed meal and plain almonds, she noticeably felt much smoother bowel movements and more energetic in the morning in less than 6 weeks. And she herself says, "I didn't expect to feel this way just by changing a little snack." The point is, you don't need to spend more money. You don't have to buy imported nutritional products, and you don't have to completely quit the little habit of craving. But you don't need to look at the taste to function, from eating deliciously to eating well worth it. The little budget you spend on nuts every day could have been exchanged for a good choice that really nourishes the brain, protects the heart, and stabilizes blood sugar, but you are willing to make a smarter decision. One thing you can do right now is go to the kitchen and open your snack cabinet to see which nuts are in it that are time to be replaced. The next time you go to the supermarket, take the time to look at the ingredient list and avoid styles with added sugar, salt, and flavorings. Or, simply buy some basic plain nuts, mix them with some dried fruits and seeds, and make your own golden nut bag, which is clean, simple, and effective. Remember, although nuts are good, control the amount of a small handful every day, about 1 ounce or so, is really suitable for middle-aged and elderly people to adhere to the safe range for a long time. We all know that when we are old, our bodies cannot withstand repeated tosses, and every decision is related to the quality of life in the future. If you wish you could walk easily, have a clear mind, sleep soundly, and be free of chronic illnesses in 10 years' time, you should be serious about everything you eat now. Health never depends on a meal of chicken soup and a bottle of supplements. Nor does it rely on listening to what someone says to follow the trend, but relying on the few bites you eat every day and slowly raises it. The decision you make now may not be an immediate miracle, but it will be the most important turning point in your physical state one day in the future. You don't need drastic changes. You don't need an extreme light diet. As long as you replace those superficially healthy nuts with nuts that can really help you fight oxidation, protect your heart and brain, and regulate blood sugar. Eat less processed products that make you addictive, and eat more of the best ingredients that nature has given us. Then you are already on the right path. If you find this article inspiring, you are welcome to share it with your family and friends, especially those who are eating nuts but don't pay attention to how they eat them. It's not about making you taboo. It's about waking you up. We can eat contentedly, and we can eat smart, and there is no conflict between the two. Health is not about sacrificing enjoyment, but about making wiser choices. You have the ability, and you deserve the change. From the next meal, you can get it right.